Great. So the next section that we're going to be approaching is something called best practice. Now, best practice is really just the best way of doing something. Now, many of you in your industries would have best practice that you have found in different companies that are in the same industry. Sometimes they benchmark them, sometimes it's just about research, sometimes there are specialist companies that will find best practice. So it's the thing that takes the least amount of time, is the most efficient, is the most effective, and is the most cost saving. And so we constantly need to be moving towards best practice, and if we can, towards world class. So we've got current practice, what we currently do. We've got best practice, which is the industry standard, which is the best way to do something and obviously be able to save us a lot of time and effort. And then we also have world class. And that's something, if we have incredible innovation and almost unlimited funds, that is how we would really want to do things. And so we need to be constantly on that journey towards world class. So what you're going to be doing now is doing your own little bit of best practice. You're going to be looking at the transport that you use. So transport of staff, transport of goods, transport of components that get to your warehouse, and you're going to be able to take a look at what is best practice in terms of saving you time, saving you money. And it sounds almost like that catchphrase, putting you first, but pretty much it's about best practice and about the best way of being able to do something. So let's just go to our workbooks and then we can take a look at how to complete this exercise. So let's go to our workbook. So transport is central to our lives, traveling to and from work, client visits, taking the kids to school, holidays, and socializing. I want to add also transport coming into your business, going out of your business, and within your business. I want you to also look at that transport. Okay. If you were tasked with saving 50% of the transport bill of the individuals that are coming to and from work, as well as within your organization, and moving goods and moving components and moving materials, how would you go about doing it? Okay, so we're going to be looking at what is the current transport use, what would be best practice, okay, and what would world class look like, and what would the saving be, more or less, if you move from current practice to best practice and then to world class. So let's take a look at this table. Okay, so what is the current operating practice? So let's say people are taking public transport or taxis to work. So that's your staff. Okay, what is the best operating practice? Maybe it is to get staff transport, to get a dedicated bus that will take people to the workplace. Maybe it has to go on a specific route, but it might be able to save money, and it might also be able to make sure that they are on time and that you don't have late coming. What would the saving be if you move from current operating to best practice? And then in a perfect world, what would world class be? Well, world class would be something like in Japan, where you have bullet trains and you have trains that are on time, and we don't have that. So, what would world class be? Maybe that would be subways, maybe that would be bullet trains. So, you decide what is world class. All right, what other current operating practice are there? Okay, so how do your materials get to your factory gate? What is the best operating practice? Okay, so what is better than what you currently have, and what is world class? Now, we've been looking at videos in our level 5 practice, and one of the big things is drone technology. So, what would happen if you would get minor components brought by drone? Would it save you time? Would it save cost? Would it be able to get you the right components at the right time? So maybe that's a world-class thing. So what I want you to do is on your left-hand column, constantly look at how you guys are using transport and how you are using vehicles within your organization and within your own personal life. What is the best operating practice that you could possibly do in order to make things a little quicker and cheaper? What kind of saving could you expect? And then what would world class be? In a perfect world, what would that look like? Okay, so that's going to be your next little exercise. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to be reading best practice. Okay, so it's also in your workbook. So let's take a look. There we go. That's what you're going to be completing. After that, you're going to read best practice. So it is the best practice Inform You. And once you have done that, which is 3 pages, then you can move on to the next video.